Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to a brand new update currently still in the unstable branch, adding some brand new armor to the game, adding some new track types, and most importantly, increasing the maximum height of the lovely sky anchors, which we'll be getting into in just a moment after we look at all the brand new items. There's also a brand new managed tech option, which we'll also be getting into because this thing is really useful. So today, just looking at all the stuff, maybe building a small tank using all the new items, and hopefully having a lot of fun. This is going to be really good for my current Let's Play, because I want to build a tank, and now there's more stuff to build a tank. So to begin with, let's have a quick look-see at the brand new armor. Now, honestly, the main thing here, which I'm really happy to see, is the edge armor itself, because who doesn't want a more edgy design? But honestly, this will just make the designs far more natural looking, and honestly opens up so many different possibilities. We have the inside corner edge over here, we have the outside corner edge, and then the regular edge, and then we have these slopes, which I didn't even realize were edge armor until only a moment ago, but yes, that's the small edge armor, and then the medium-sized. I don't believe there's a large currently, but still, all of these combined, it's similar to the old Robocraft designing system with those block types, which I'm really happy to see here because I already have so many ideas how to use them. There are then things like the spikes here, which I'm probably not going to use too much, but still, nice to have the option. We have the larger version of the old fort armor, and then we have the wrap armors here. The only item I'm not currently showcasing over here is just the larger version of the spike, purely because I didn't have space. Nope, the medium version of the spike, because I wanted this to be all nice and symmetrical and stuff. We then have blocks like this, the split spike armor. Again, not quite sure when I'm going to use this, but combined with some of the other edge pieces, I think it can work certainly very well. So loads more options there. Although it is just different sizes of the same design over and over, in some cases, it is still really good to have these new options. What I really want to build is a small tank, as I'm kind of showcasing here with this little drone thing. Next up, let's showcase the sky anchors and their change, as the sky anchor instantly begins to devour everything around it. But still, let's get into the air. So before, the maximum height was apparently 40, it's now 80. Now sadly, this completely messes up my power spire which I built in the last video. But, on the upside, this looks way better as a sky base. I am so happy for this change, even though it makes everything way more difficult for me. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the spire now. Maybe I'll build a medium height sky base in between them. Maybe I'll make the spire just way higher. I really don't know. Yeah, it's so confusing it even messed up my ability to say the word spire, but still, that is so much better. That looks so much more like a sky base than before, where it just kind of looked like a very tall hover. So very happy with that change. And now we move on to something a bit more interesting, and the new track system. Our lovely brand new tracks. So then, we now have the small tracks, which I'm using on this design over here, which I absolutely love the look of, and I'll be using every chance I can. We then have the medium tracks, which were the original tracks, although the patch notes say that the original tracks were renamed as the M4 Small. But these are the M4 Medium, so I'm fairly certain I'm not missing an entire track type, so that's probably a typo either in-game or in the patch notes. And then we have the larger variants, which also look absolutely amazing, with double the connection points on the top. That looks like it's going to be so useful to build as a base. Now sadly, it doesn't have connection points on the front or back, but still, loads on the side, so that'll be really easy to armor up, and honestly, it will probably be the thing I use the most. Then, we go over to Geocorp, and we have one new type of track, the XL Continuous. Unlike the Continuous Track Middle, these do not have connection points on the end again, but once again, they are absolutely massive, so we don't really need many of these to build a proper tank, or vehicle, or something. Now, I haven't really tested any of these out, though, so what I'm going to do is quickly build some kind of base vehicle, and then we're going to test out all of these different track types, and see which ones I prefer. Minor change of plan. Because of how small the small versions are, I know, what a surprise there, I am going to be building just one very quick design first, just to test those out and see if I actually like them or not. Now, since I'm going to be building a proper tank fairly soon, I don't want to spend too much time on this, otherwise I'm just going to be copying this design over and over. But let's try and use some of the new blocks as much as I can. So far we have the new tracks, we have the new armor on top there, and I'm going to use one of the experimental weapons, which I haven't covered yet, the sticky bomb launcher. So that will go somewhere on the top. So let's just continue this, and then we can test out the tracks and see if they have any value to us. Now, this isn't particularly well done, and honestly, it's very rushed, but I'm already loving the new blocks. They are so much easier to use, and I've just realised this is somewhat similar to the current tech of the week, and if you want to see that, go and check out the Terratech Twitter, since that's actually a small tank using the small tank tracks. And I believe it uses these as well, and now I'm actually seeing them in use. Yeah, if you can smooth this out better, which I'm certainly not really bothering with right now, that would look amazing. I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the next tank I build. So I'm going to be adding shields and batteries and all that, just to see how much weight these things can really handle. Are they going to be useful in a small to medium-sized tech? Because this thing, honestly, is fairly tiny. I didn't realise just how small it was until I saw the size of the shield bubbles. Yeah, that's the Hawkeye shield. That is way bigger than I expected. Now to quickly add on the corner blocks. Ahem, the correct way. Oh, okay, so these two do not mix well. Good to know. In that case, I'll just leave it as it was. Or we can always put these on their side and add a little bit of armor instead. I am spending way too much time on something which I'm going to use for only a few seconds. I mean, you kind of aimed in the right direction at least. So, the sticky bomb launcher has actually been changed recently. It now does more damage, and the fuse is longer on the bombs themselves. There we go. Wait a little while, and that's a fair bit of damage, actually. Just don't move when you fire, because the weapon does not compensate at all. And wow, this thing is shaking horribly. In terms of control, it's actually really nice to use though. Slides a bit when turning. But the turning itself is really good, especially when stationary, although once again, the sliding. Now of course this is only a test on a medium vehicle. This is probably better on a smaller vehicle with these tracks, but yeah, this is fine. No problem really. So pop one there. One goes there, and then to answer the question I've got, will this weapon go through a shield? So will it stick to the tech itself and then do damage directly to the blocks, or will it somehow be blocked by the shield? I assume it's going through. Now that makes the weapon way more deadly, because suddenly the explosion is going to always be on the blocks themselves. The shield is blocking absolutely nothing. So those repair bubbles are going to have to use up a lot of energy to repair that. Okay, definitely a weapon I'll be looking out for in the campaign, because that seems like a load of fun. And it doesn't seem quite as overpowered as the other cannons and such, which have such a long range, you can normally obliterate things before they're anywhere near you. And okay, so movement type is fun to use. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but not the slowest either. Let's just get stuck on the sky anchor, because why not? Now, let's see if we can climb with this thing. Yeah, there's a little bit of a rock. Right now I'm just pressing forwards, and this is happening. This also happened earlier, though, so it's definitely not something in the design getting in the way. It happened even when I had only 4 of these tracks and no real weight. Yeah, as expected, with the shape like that, climbing is fine, although it did take a little bit of damage there. Nothing major. In fact, I want to test this out in the creative mode itself, so once I've designed the other designs with the other tracks, we'll go to the creative mode and see how they climb. So one problem I've noticed with the larger tracks with Geocorp, if you have too many of them on the design, it suddenly starts to shake. And this happens no matter how you build them. I've had them behind, I've had them in front, on the side, and this happens. And then even if you add loads of weight, because originally I thought that was the problem, perhaps because it's so light and then we have these, that's causing the issue, but that doesn't really help. as I build a random pyramid here. On the upside, they can take loads of weight, so that's great to know, but that shaking is horrendous. Still a minor issue. I'm hoping that's just the terrain here. It doesn't really do anything gameplay-wise, it's just unpleasant to watch. Naturally, with the Geocorp design, we're going with a lovely destroyer of nature. There we are, turning trees into fuel. Now, one thing I would love is a pacemaker, though honestly pacemakers aren't particularly good with furnaces, but still, you get the idea. And other than the shaking, which seems to have lessened now we've put weight a bit more... Nope, never mind, it started again. So the shaking still seems to be there, but in terms of control, the tracks are fantastic, and they're actually surprisingly quick. Not the fastest maximum speed, but the actual acceleration itself is really good. So if I ever build a new harvester, yep, definitely using these, although currently in the Let's Play, harvesting isn't allowed, but still. I'll just finish off this, adding some more weight, adding some more stuff to it, and then that's this design done. So 2 designs to test out in creative mode. Oh, look! It looks like you're shaking as well. At least it looked like you were. Yeah, it's going to be curious to see what happens in the creative mode rather than the R&D mode where we are currently. Well, this is one ugly looking vehicle. But still, the whole point is just to test out the tracks, and I'm never going to use these vehicles again, so I don't really care too much. I'm not spending any more time building them. For larger weapons, these would make really good stands. Because I'm forgetting the true word for that there, but still. That would be cool. Oh god, I'm going to be messing up these arrows so much as I build, aren't I? Well, that's going to drive people absolutely insane as I build them. So the 2 on the front are both up. Nope, that one's down as well. I wanted 2 up, 2 down. 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. Okay, that works, sure. Just going for a really heavily armored, tiny little vehicle here. Now, this was balanced really briefly, but here's the thing. I don't want it to be balanced because slightly angling it upwards means when we fire this, it's going to go slightly further. Not by much, though. I don't think I'd want it any more than this. Then just armor up the back section here, and then, yep, sure, then all 3 are good to go. We can test it in the creative mode. Apparently, when I'm speed building, I just make really lumpy things. But there we go. 3 techs, all just using the tracks. All of them quite light, considering how much the tracks can use, just to see the tracks in their best. Sure. Okay, our new tracks are over there, but first of all then, let's have a look-see at the new Manage Techs option. So now, you no longer have to go over to the tech with your mouse and then select them. Instead, you just find them in the Tech Manager, and then you can do all sorts of things. You can change their player or enemy status. I believe, though, that's only in the R&D and creative mode. Could be wrong about that. That seems to be how it works. And then we can also remove them. Ta-da! Or we can change their name, or take a snapshot. We can do pretty much anything we can normally do, except for send them into guard mode. Although, that might be just because I don't have the AI for it. So let's just quickly throw that on there. Have another look. Nope, you can't do that over here. That seems to be one of the only things you can't do. But you can delete all of them, which is pretty darn nice. So that should make things actually a little bit easier. It's a small quality of life change, but honestly, I really, really like it. So then. Well, they definitely still bounce. But then when you control them, that tends to stop. I wonder what that is causing the bouncing. Very curious. Okay, small tech first. That seems absolutely fine, although there's no noise. That's interesting. The music's still playing. I definitely haven't muted it. But there's no noise from the tracks? Is that meant to happen? Are they that quiet? That's really weird. I'm sure I heard them have noise earlier. Okay, if we can just climb this, I'll be happy. Yep, seems absolutely fine. So climbing, absolutely fine. Although they do seem prone to taking damage almost all the time. So I do wonder if this section here of the track counts more like a normal block, because wheels, of course, have some resistance to taking damage upon impact, but it seems like the sides don't count with that. Yep, seems fine. A little bit rocky, but no real problems. There we go. Plenty of examples over here to test out. Lovely. And now I can remove the old ones all the way from over here. There we are. Yeah, that is really useful. Definitely, if you're getting lag or something, you can solve the problem without having to go and find everything, which, of course, you have to do during lag, which is really annoying. Okay, little fella first. And just... Oh, how about this bit? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the small tracks are great. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't expect any better than that, so I'll leave that there. Large tracks. Bit more weight on this thing, and it's a bit less balanced as well. But it's even easier. Okay, yep. I mean, to be fair, they're tracks. They should climb well in this game. Tracks have always climbed well in Terratech. So I'm not exactly surprised. And the final test. I am questioning why I actually built all these things, since I'm not really going to use them more than just this, just riding around for a second. And even though there's only 4 of them on this, and we could easily add more since they have connection points at the top, yep, the climbing is fine. I think it's just because if we didn't build them fully out, it's a weird test. This way we're testing them on a functional tech. Not particularly good techs, but techs nonetheless. But to be fair, this one's actually a pretty good harvester, just, it needs refineries and stuff like that to make it efficient. Anyway, though, I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's video. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next episode of the Let's Play, we are most likely going to be building a tank, although originally I was going to be building a plane. I don't really know. We'll see what I want to do with the new blocks. Thank you so much for watching. And goodbye. As a side note, after the outro, I did plan to move around a lot more with these tanks, but I am literally just out of time. I took way too long building them because I'm a dum-dum. Bye-bye.